So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zephyr Games. It is Synchro Day today because I did a recording yesterday for Synchrons/Synchro Spam, and today I am bringing you TGs. So this is one of my favourite decks from the whole 5D series. I think they're incredibly fun, and they actually get a little bit better with Master Rule 5, and they also get a little bit better with the new ban list, plus Needle Fiber Edition as well. So before we get into the profile, please smash that like button, hit the notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on anything coming up. We've got new decks in relation to the ban list and of course post-duel overload while we are all in this period of isolation. So you can build, test and play new decks that we suggest to you guys, ready so that when we come out of this isolation on the other side, you'll have decks that you will fully enjoy playing, that you want to test at locals, and you'll also have full decks that you are ready to competitively drive forward to with Master Rule 5 as well. With that being said, let's get on with today's profile of TGs. So, TGs, incredible fun deck. They do lock themselves into TGs, which is the downside of the deck, but if played correctly, you actually end up on a very, very powerful, basically walking, talking, solemn warning, and then you also have a nice TG Blade Blaster that can jump out of the danger zone and then come back as a nice 3300 beater as well. So, we play triple TG Striker. This is basically like a Cyber Dragon of the deck in the sense that if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and sent there this turn, you can add a TG monster. Now, most of the TG cards have that effect. It's very, very irrelevant in this current setup. In the past, when TGs first came out, there was a lot of destruction. There is a trap card that does that and destroys them for you, but it's not as effective in this day and age. The better card that we do use is Sonic Stun, and it's a shame it's not an exact TG card, but it does give you a lot of TG kind of protection as well. We then have three TG Screw Serpent. This card is awesome, so good. So if it is normal or special summoned, you target a level 4 or lower TG monster in your graveyard except himself and special summon it. Its effects are negated, doesn't really matter. You can banish this card from the graveyard, then target one TG monster you control, increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of this turn. Only use each effect once per turn. So it allows you to adapt the levels of your TG monsters in order to get to the synchros that you really want to. We then play triple TG Tank Grub. This card again is really awesome. So if this card is used as synchro material for a TG monster specifically, you can treat it as a non-tuner. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a TG monster, special summon one TG token machine level 1 in attack position. So it just gives you additional fodder to help you synchro climb. We then have triple TG Drillfish. This is just a free summon. So if all monsters you control are TG monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. When a TG monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So it gives you a little bit of additional removal. Triple Tg Warwolf. The only downside of this is it is a when effect. So when a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned except during a damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed, you get to add a TG monster from your deck to your hand. Triple TG Booster Raptor. This again is just an additional summon to the board. If you try a TG monster, special summon this card from the hand. And then once per turn during the end phase, if this is in graveyard because it was destroyed, you get to search a TG monster. We then play double TG Metal Skeleton. This one doesn't actually special summon itself, which is why we only play it at 2. But if a monster or monsters on the field is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from the hand. If a TG monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from the field or graveyard instead. So it just gives you a bit of destruction protection as well. We then have a double TG Gear Zombie. So you target one TG monster you control, special summon this card from the hand, and then that targeted monster loses 1000 attack. Doesn't really matter because you just get a free additional level 1 tuner. And then the spice of this deck, which I really love, is double Hop Ear Squadron and the one Miscellaneous Saurus. Now Miscellaneous gets sent to the graveyard, you banish it, and you get to special summon out the TG Raptor. The Hop Ear Squadron is during your opponent's main phase. Quick effect, you can target one face-up monster you control, special summon this card from the hand, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro summon one Synchro monster using only this card you control and that target as material. Now the issue with this, or the good thing about this, is because you do lock yourself into TGs during your turn, during your opponent's turn, being able to use Needle Fiber and this can be very, very powerful to end up getting you 2 Synchro monsters on the board that are either going to provide additional negation or additional interruption to your opponent as well. So Hop Ear Squadron can be a very, very nice introduction or addition to the deck that can really, really help you extend during your opponent's turn. And they may be like, oh cool, all we've got to deal with is a walking, talking Solemn Warning. That's right. And then you can then go, okay, you can deal with your walking, talking Solemn Warning, but I'm now going to drop this and I'm going to Synchro climb higher and I'm going to get into like a Mistworm, or I'm going to get into a Trishula that's going to banish your stuff or bounce your stuff. Then we play Triple Call by the Grave. Obviously one of the biggest Achilles heels in this deck is now Needle Fiber and of course the TG Trident Launcher, because if that gets ashed, you actually lose so much. You're locked into TGs, you've used up your extra monster zone, and you don't get anything from it. So you need to protect it as best as you possibly can. Triple Fossil Dig, get the Raptor for extension, or get the Miscellaneous Saurus as your first port of call as an additional kind of extension as well, and deck fin. Triple Tenki to get your Warwolf and give him a nice little boost as well. And then we've got the one-offs of Monster Reborn, Living Fossil, 1-for-1. Living Fossil can actually be the World Legacy revival spell if you want it to be as well. I've just gone with Living Fossil as well because it does the exact same job. Reasoning and Foolish Burial. Now we play actually a lot of different levels. It plays like 2s, 1s, 4s, 3s. You've got the entire spectrum on that, so that's very, very good to do. And then we've got double Sonic Stun. It is a 41 card deck, but basically when an opponent's monster declares an attack, negate the attack, special on one TG monster or level 4 or lower tuner from your hand or deck. So it gives you additional extension, it gives you additional plays, and it gives you a bit of nice protection for the deck as well. Moving on to the extra deck, we'll start with, of course, the Link monsters, and we've got one Crystron Howcliffe Brax. I'm not going to get this right, so if someone can put that down in the comments below, I will try and do it. And then double Trident Launcher. Now the idea is you would go this now, because we've got Needle Fire, it requires less in hand. So in order to get to your Trident Launcher, you need to have 3 monsters to make it, and then a monster in hand, and then a monster in grave to make his effect live. Whereas with Needle Fiber actually allows you to do that with like less attributes. So you only need 2 monsters to make this, you get an additional one from deck, and then you link into your Trident Launcher as long as there's a TG monster, which is what it will do. And you can go from there. So rather than requiring 4 cards from your opening hand, you only need to now require 3. A way to get into Needle Fiber, which if you wanted to, you could play lefty and righty driver just to give you a bit more consistency for it. But the TG should be able to do that themselves. You can then, if you want to and have enough extenders, make a Synchro monster out of the way, and then make Trident Launcher, and Trident Launcher will then start bringing all of the monsters and materials out from the deck, grave and hand that you need. Then for the lower level Synchrons, we do play the one Formula Synchron. Now this can actually be any kind of other. So the reason we've got Formula Synchron, we've got Formula Synchron, we've got the TG Wonder Magician, and we've got the Shooting Riser Dragon. Now these are the cards that you're basically going to be able to end your board on, or go into via Needle Fiber to end up Synchro climbing during your opponent's turn. So it comes down to personal preference on these ones. Other ones that I really, really do suggest in the deck is the Metal Material, but this one, by using a card like this or a card like Celestial, you need to be able to follow these up with one of these or with your Hop Ear Squadron, because you then need to be able to Synchro during your opponent's turn to make these effects like relevant. If you can't do that, then you stick with these as a safety kind of margin. Now, obviously, these 2 have to come out during your opponent's turn. This one will be one that comes out during your turn, and the whole idea is you do that in order to Synchro during your opponent's turn. Now, the Hop Ear Squadron is in there to take the pressure off of cards like this, that you can actually go for a little bit more of a power climb. For the other low-level TGs, we do play 2 Receprio Dragonfly. This can be cut down to 1 if you want to put in one of the other spicy cards that I just showed you. Then we also have the now 1 TG Hyper Librarian and the double TG Star Guardian. This card is so good in TGs, absolutely love it. And then for the final TG monsters, we do have the 1 Hellbird Cannon and the 1 Blade Blaster. These are obviously your boss monsters. These are the ones that get you the game wins. That being said, during your opponent's turn, when you do Synchro Summon, you want to disrupt them or cause them as many issues as possible. So to do that, we do go with the one Crystal Wing, because you do lock yourself into TGs during your turn. You want to make sure that you can actually pull off a card like this during your opponent's turn, which is quite easy with a Riser Dragon, as long as you leave a tuner on the board as well. And a Mistworm. Now, a Mistworm is a little bit more specific because it does require you to use its one tuner and 2 or more non-tuners. But if you were to use Hop Ear Squadron for something like Crystal Wing, or Trishula Dragon if you wanted to as well, the issue with Hop Ear is it has to use itself and the exact one it's targeted. So you do have to be very, very careful, and you're going to be going with Crystal Wing more times than not. That being said, you can Mistworm if you play it correctly with your, the Riser Dragon and your... So you'd have to play it correctly with your Riser Dragon, your Wonder Magician, and of course the Formula Synchron. If you get the levels correctly, that's the reason we play Riser Dragon, is it just allows you to adapt the level to what you need in order to make the Mistworm plays. And the reason I've gone with Mistworm is just because it bounces free rather than banishes free. Now obviously Trish is a more powerful card, it is back down to 1. If you want to play Trish, you just swap out Mistworm. I just wanted to go with something a little bit different from Trish, and that's why I went with Mistworm instead. So that is it for the profile. I hope this gave you a couple of ideas. I hope it's given you a decent route to the type of deck that you want to play coming into Master Rule 5 as well. I fully enjoy TGs. I'm not saying they're the most busted deck in the world, but they have got, this card is insane, and they have got a little bit more protection and a little bit more ways to kind of get to these two guys here, the Blade Blaster and the Hellberg Cannon, just to kind of finish your opponent off and win you the game from there. But I hope you like this, I hope it's given you a couple of ideas. For now, please smash that like button to show as much support towards the channel as you possibly can. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on anything, and subscribe throughout the rest of this isolation period and therefore after, so you can build, test, and of course come out of this a better player as well. For now, thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always guys, happy dueling.